is this relationship worth the work, the effort? Is this doomed for failure? Okay. These are all questions. And so we're going to dispel some of that today. We're going to talk about toxic relationship stuff. All right. And of course, how do you know you're in one? All right. It sounds like a dumb question. Okay. Like for you guys on the sidelines or something, someone not in it, so to speak, it's very easy for someone to sort of arrogantly jump on it, maybe a comment section somewhere and, talk about how obvious this should be. But I find that most people who have those things to say have found themselves in that situation where they were in a toxic relationship, didn't even know it, didn't realize it. Because, there's kind of a myth out there really that, oh, relationships are never hard or difficult. I don't agree with that. All right. I think that if you're improving yourself and you're making yourself better, that involves change. And change involves discomfort. And so if you're making yourself better, leveling yourself up, and your partner is complimenting you and doing the same with you, there's going to be changes. And then those changes means there's discomfort, which means there's tension, there's conflict. Now, if you handle conflict really well and all that, of course, plus the elements of genuine desire and those things that we talk about with frame and, desire and attraction, those things are all there. Things do go pretty smooth, but even as smooth as they may be, they're still not exactly 100% easy or conflict free or, or just uneventful. Right. So things are a little bit eventful in your relationship. If things are uneventful, that tells me your relationship's pretty dull and maybe the desire's not there, which happens too. And then guys find themselves a victim of the divorce machine that way. They go, oh, gee, I didn't see any problems. There's no problems. Like we don't fight, this and that. And then she just told me she's not in love with me anymore. And then handed me papers. Happens all the time. So you don't want to end up there either. All right. But we'll go through because it's always a question. There's conflicts or there's things going on, and is this relationship worth the work, the effort? Is this doomed for failure? Okay. These are all questions. And so we're going to dispel some of that today. Cool. Let's get started. Let's get into number one. So number one is, this is a good vetting measure. That's why I put it as number one, is that your life is worse off, considerably worse off today than it was when you were single. And she seems to be the source of this problem. That's something that people don't evaluate. And that's the first thing I have people look at. And they're like, man, I don't know. Should I stick around in this relationship or should I leave? And well, let's look at it, right? So you've been with this person for a year. What was it like when you were single? And I'm not just talking about, getting sex and being in a relationship or being attracted to somebody. I'm talking about like your life in general, your work situation, your health, your living situation, your social situation, your money situation. Is it better a year later or is it worse a year later? That's something you have to look at, because a woman should be a complement to your life. And so if you're in a relationship and you're worse off a year later, that's not a good sign. It's not a good sign at all. Now, could it be your fault or circumstances? Yeah, maybe. But it's a red flag if after you get into a relationship, things start falling apart. That's a red flag and a problem, because a good, we'll say a good woman, okay, a good relationship partner is going to be a complement to your life, not just somebody that's fun to be around and fun to bang. All right. That you can have a casual partner for that. You don't need to like bring this person into your life, into this relationship where you're seeing them multiple times a week and you're having some sort of defined commitment and all that crap. And then she starts bringing you her problems and you start working like a couple in a unit. You don't need to do that with somebody who's just fun to bang and fun to hang out with on a Friday. Okay, so that's not enough. All right, a good relationship partner needs to be a good complement to your life and a good support system for what you're trying to do and accomplish. And so, if you find yourself not accomplishing what you should be and not in a good situation in general in your life, things falling apart, maybe at work or with your your business or your living situation, your social circles, you're disconnected from your friends, all that stuff. These are signs to objectively look at because objectively speaking, she might not be a good partner to you or a good complement. And when you look at it and figure it out, and if it's something, there's probably something toxic in this relationship dynamic, if that's the case. Now, it could be you. Understand it always does boil down to you, right? Whether it's your mate selection and choosing to be there or your behavior, but it could be your behavior. Maybe she's a decent partner, a potential partner, but you are toxic in the approach of the relationship where you're putting her as the focus, maybe falling into the social conditioning, happy wife, happy life syndrome, right? Where you make her your center of attention instead of your life and what you're trying to do is your center of attention. That could be the problem. And then, of course, her attraction's going south. You guys are fighting stuff, bad stuff's happening, right? And so you need to evaluate and look at it. But a good sign that things that you're in a dynamic that needs to change and quickly is that your life is worse after a considerable time in a relationship with somebody than it was in the beginning or before you got in it.